In general terms, Delignit is developing, producing, and selling mainly a system solution based on a raw material base, which is renewable and sustainable. And in detail, it's beechwood, which is growing in the center of Europe. We divide two different markets in our industry, which is, and the main market is automotive business, and the second market is technological application. As you said, we are active in niche markets. We feel very convenient in the niche, not in the mass production markets. To give you an idea what we are doing and which way we are doing our business model is that as soon as we see where a niche is growing or where something new and special demands are coming, we are going with our R&D department and with our application know-how engineers into the markets and develop new system solutions. To understand a little bit better, I give you an example in the automotive industry. We are producing for the light commercial vehicle industry, and there were coming up new EU regulations in behalf of loading securing systems. So you need to protect and secure the goods that you are carrying in a light commercial vehicle in line with newest EU regulation, and there are no solutions in the market yet. And we saw the situation and we understood the situation, and due to the reason that we are market leader already in the light commercial industry, it was a good idea that we are the company that invents new solutions for that. And we gave this into the market, and now we are ahead in this market as a single and unique supplier in these markets. Another example is the railway industry, where we are delivering flooring solutions for the trains. There are new fire retardantness demands in the markets. They are so-called hazard level regulations. And we invented a new product portfolio that we introduced to the market in September this year during the InnoTrans fair, which is the world leading fair for the railway industry. And yeah, I think that we have a very good product portfolio meanwhile in this market also. So we are going into the niches, we understand the niche, and we are meanwhile engineering partner of the leading industries. The attractions of the automotive industry is, of course, the long-lasting contracts. Due to the reason that we are not doing that much business in passenger cars industry, but more business in the light commercial vehicle industry, our contracts are running for even a longer period of time. So let's say for 10 years or even longer. The most interesting point of view in our market, especially in the light commercial vehicle industry, is a very stable market situation. So everybody knows the new purchasing behavior, buying goods into the internet and doing internet purchasing. And everybody needs to get this parcel delivered at home. And that is the fleet of the light commercial vehicle industry. And we are active in this street. So we see a strong demand from this point of view. This is one thing. On the other hand, we have an overaged fleet driving through Europe. So there's a need to replace these vehicles. And this is the second argument where we say, okay, this is an attractive market because it is a stable market. Nevertheless, the market itself is growing, but we are growing as Delignit even faster due to one reason. We develop even more system solutions and sell our own intellectual property, that we call it in that way. And therefore, we are able to increase our revenues inside the automotive industry, meanwhile, for more than 15% per year, while the industry itself is growing only with 10% per year. And compare with the situation we have in the technological application markets. Our strategy is, in very simple words, we want to be the technological leaders in our markets. As soon as we have reached this position, and we have reached it in the light commercial vehicle industry and also in the railway industry from our point of view, we are going to enlarge this business model. On the one hand, what we have learned in producing products and process know-how in quality management systems and so on, so process know-how and product know-how in the automotive industry, we are going to transform it in comparable markets like we did in the past in the railway industry. So we call cross-selling. In addition to that, we have a sub-strategy, so-called, which is called more revenues per vehicle. We are the market leader already in Europe in the light commercial vehicle industry, and we want to use this position to enlarge our product portfolio, to have even more revenues per vehicle. As I explained, we have system solution for loading securing system. This is the answer to this strategy. And on the other hand side, we are going to expand our business model geographically. So we have had an export ratio about approximately 10% in the period of time 2008, 2009, 2010. Meanwhile, our export ratio is up to 40% and even higher, due to the reason that we gained new customer worldwide, especially in Europe. And good information in addition to that, we just founded the Delignit North America, which is located in Atlanta. And we are quite optimistic to see even more revenues coming up in the North American market due to the new founded Delignit North America. If you are an automotive supplier, the whole dependency is always a concern, and it needs to be a concern if you do your management in a well way, from my point of view. But that is a driver for us for risk diversification discussions that we have inside our company. But give you an idea, what we said just a couple of minutes ago, we have risk diversification, not only inside the automotive industry, but also we have it in terms of the railway industry. And we have other technical demands and properties like high density and plywood, for example, for securing systems and so on. So we diversificate our business model for the last years, and we are going on to diversificate it in the future also. First of all, yes, we are quite glad with the first half year. We increased revenues with more than 8% in the first half year. We increased the EBITDA margin with more than 16% to almost 3 million EBITDA. So it was a very good first half year for us. Nevertheless, the second half year will become, even in terms of revenues, even better. So we're increasing our revenues in the second half year. In our estimation, even higher than our guidance is for this year. So we just released a press report that we will exceed our own guidance for this year. That is driven to different arguments, especially due to increasing call-offs from our OEM customers. It is a good information, but there's always a second information driven by this strong growth and due to these new contracts that we won and due to the new customers that we gained. We had, let's say, starting costs in these projects for ramp up and for prototyping in new contracts, especially in the caravan industry. That was a contract that we just won in springtime this year, and therefore we have additional costs in the second half year. So we will just confirmed our EBITDA guidance for the whole year, even though revenues will increase faster than we first thought. This is the midterm. In the long term, your question, what is the perspective in the future? We have a vision as a management board. When we signed the contracts last year for another 5 years, Thorsten Duray, who is in charge of the sales department, and me, we had an own vision, and we said, okay, we want to reach 100 million of revenues until the year of 2022. And to be honest, due to these contracts that we just won, we see us on a good track. I would say we are a typical German medium-sized company in our balance sheet, so we have an equity ratio of more than 50%. We feel quite convenient with that situation due to different arguments. Yes, we are a company that has a high R&D approach. We need to invest in additional capacities due to the contracts that I just mentioned. And we are able to do it on a base of a solid balance sheet. In combination with our higher profitability that we reached meanwhile, we are optimistic to go even bigger steps than we did in the past. I just mentioned the motor caravan contracts that we won this year. This contract itself has a worth of more than 10 million euros revenues per year, which is approximately 20% of our complete revenues looking back to 2017. So these big steps that we just made, we are optimistic to do them just because of this stable balance sheet ratio that we have.